called one day and said that he was thinking about leaving the University of St. Thomas, hanging up his cleats finally and going to ask for admission to the seminary.
Well, the day that he told us, it was Christmas Day, 2011, and we were at Grandma's for Christmas. It was just a family moment and everybody was so delighted.
Overwhelmingly, what I felt when I found out that John was going to become a priest was that I was shocked and a little petrified.
Right away, I think I treated John differently just because he was becoming a priest, I guess.
This is the way the Lord's going to keep me on my knees, right? They're your children.
Since William announced, I've personally thought, am I losing a son or are they gaining a priest?
No, my first reaction was, I knew. You finally told me. I've been waiting for you to tell me this. Well, I bought this when William was born, when he was a little baby. But I loved the idea of the guardian angel watching over the little sleeping baby. And even though it's baby Jesus, to me it was always William.
So I entered college with the intention of moving into investment banking, working in Milwaukee, raising a family there. I mean, those were all of what I decided I wanted for my life at the age of 18.
Growing up, my dad was a police sergeant, so it had always been a big interest of mine.
God has a plan for you when it becomes evident to you. I mean, I couldn't stop myself from just jumping forward.
I saw the rest of the world going after material things and the lives that they thought could fulfill them.
I think people look at what being a seminarian means and look at what the priesthood means. And to our culture today, it looks insane. I've never felt more free than when I entered seminary.
Well, we have 8 children, 4 boys in that order, and then 4 girls in that order.
We have 6 children, and William was number 4.
Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit.
A seminarian or a priest's family can't be overstated.
For the family, I think it's just keeping things normal because it's just the same John.
Stop talking.
They need somewhere to go on Thanksgiving and someone to watch the Packer game with and someone to talk with over the phone.
What families can offer is a normalcy that nothing else can offer, you know, to know that you're loved, to know that your prayers are there.
I pray a lot.
I try to smooth the road as much as I can when he's at home, and knowing that he needs to remain focused on, on the task at hand.
What I've loved that my parents and my siblings have offered me is that they're not looking at me any differently.
The influence of parents in the discernment process of the children is huge. It is more powerful than parents can ever imagine.
This is discernment, you know, let it happen, trust that God is guiding him, that he's making the right decision.
Yes, you're not going to have grandchildren, but wow, the father he's going to be.
My dad said to me, I'm glad you're discerning, I'm glad you're thinking about it because it clearly makes you happy.
My best advice would be thank God and enjoy the ride, you know?
Just let it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have confidence that whether it be a stepping stone in your son's life, or whether it be his ultimate vocation, the priesthood or entering seminary is what he needs to do now.
My advice would be let him go. Let him go. Christ is calling him to jump out of the boat and come to him. Let him go.
God's call is never what we expect.
What gives me a lot of comfort is knowing that I'm not in control of everything, we're not in control of everything, we don't have to control everything, and to really believe the Gospels when Christ says that the Lord knows every hair on our heads.
Of course you worry about him. He's your kid. You'd be crazy if you didn't, but he'll never be happy if it's his vocation to be a priest and he doesn't follow his vocation.
So we're in the main lobby of St. Francis de Sales Seminary, and this is actually one of my favorite spots. I love just paging through this. This is the yearbook of photos of all the ordination classes. They committed to the studies, they committed to formation, and they ordained priests. And so it's an encouragement for me to look at all these men who have gone through.
This chapel, it's so incredibly beautiful. I don't think a lot of people know that we have this here, but you wonder how many thousands of men have gathered in here and prayed and done just the exact same things that you're doing on a daily basis here.
So we are in the cupola at St. Francis de Sales Seminary, and you can't deny the awesome power of this view. Clear your mind for a couple minutes. If not, get some cardio during the day.
We do have a daily schedule for prayer and we go to the class, but we know how to have fun too. We have, sports nights, play some basketball or soccer or something. We're here on Lake Michigan. It's a great opportunity to go for a walk, pray a rosary.
It's a powerful environment in which young men come with their gifts, their talents, but also their faults, their foibles, and God uses all of that to mold them and shape them as His priest.
It teaches you the habits and disciplines necessary to dispose you to discern God's will in an authentic and real way.
One very important piece of discernment is to have to be done in total freedom. And this is something that it has to be expressed by the seminarian, by the candidate.
Father Luke tells me that he talks to parents who actually are worried about their sons. They're very worried that they're somehow on a train they can't get off. I would think John has an opposite opinion. He says they're so careful about us reflecting. I would say they err on the other side.
These young men are they appear to be very happy, very satisfied with what they've done.
Entering seminary is one step in helping the seminarian reach that freedom, which is so important to making a good discernment for priesthood.
Just because you enter seminary doesn't mean you're going to become a priest. And the point of entering seminary is to determine whether or not you are called to be doing that.
The last thing I want is someone just to go through the seminary, get ordained, and feel that he's not truly called to that ministry.
We'll naturally see men who will enter and leave, and that's not a bad thing. That means that his prayer life was effective.
The young men that I know right now today that are priests are the bravest people I know.
I do love the priesthood, and I love the people of God. I love serving the people.
If young people got to walk day in and day out with a priest, you would have many who would discover God calling them to this unique vocation.
Let them be men. I think these young men want to do something that God calls them to do. That I do think they want to be brave. They want to ride into battle. They want to work for the Archdiocese of Milwaukee. They want to renew the church and serve people. And that's what appeals to them.
And I see the priesthood as one of the most powerful ways within the world that humanity can give their life away for Jesus.
Beyond all the dreams that they have for their children, God also has a dream. God's dream and God's call for this particular person is what will really lead to true happiness.